The following content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not constitute means for diagnosis, healthcare advice, nor treatment. Make use of a qualified healthcare professional for such purposes.
Hi everyone, it's your TA here. I decided to make a quick video on how to create an APA template step by step. So I'm going to be doing this in a Word document. If you do it in Google Docs, there is a separate PowerPoint to follow for that. But the process is very similar. The first thing we're going to do here is check all of our settings and our formatting. So first things first, we're going to go to this top hand corner at the toolbar and we're going to change our font and font size. The standard for APA is Times New Roman font. So as you can see here, I changed it to Times New Roman 12-point font. This is the first step. The next step, we need to make sure that our positioning is left justified. And what that means is you see this little line here, it should be on the left side of the document. So you'll see that this button is highlighted in gray. That means the left justify is activated. The next thing we need to do is check our margins. So we're going to go to Layout in this top toolbar. You'll see margins in the left hand side. You want to click that, and you shouldn't have to do anything here. We just want to make sure that our margins are set to normal 1-inch margins, and you can see that it is. So that part is done. The next thing we need to do is format our paragraph settings, and this can be quite tricky sometimes, so we're going to do it this way. So you're going to right click and it should pop up this little settings menu. We want to go here where it says paragraph. Click that. The first thing we want to do is go to spacing. It's very important to make sure that spacing is set to 0. You can see this is the preview slot, and it will show how the changes will be affected in the actual text. So we want this to be set to 0. Then we're going to go to line spacing and change this. So you click on this menu, and you're going to go to double spacing. So this is what we need to do here. The next thing is we're going to go to this bottom hand side where it says tabs. Click on that. We're just double checking that our default tab is set to 0.5. So you shouldn't have to change anything. It should look exactly like this. Alright, so we're going to hit OK. And then the next thing we're going to do is format our header. So you're going to double click here. And you'll see that now we've switched to header mode. You can see indicated by this little header sign. The first thing we're going to do is type in our short title in all caps, like this. Now, it's important to always check your formatting, especially if you double click like I did. It can revert back to this other font, which we don't want. So we're going to make sure that everything is highlighted, and we're going to change it back to Times New Roman and 12-point font. So now it should look like this. The next thing we do here is we're going to tab 2 times. So one tab, then the second tab. And this is where we insert our page number. So we're going to go to the top toolbar again and go to Insert. Once you're there, we're going to go all the way to the right where it says page number. We're going to click that, and we're going to go to Current Position. And we're going to select the top option, Plain Number. And that's how you format the header. So again, everything is formatted in Times New Roman 12-point font, so that looks correct. Now we just double-click out of the header, and now we're back here. So now we should have our line back to left justify. So the next thing we're going to do is create the title information for our title page. So you want this line at the left side of the top page. And what we're going to do is hit enter 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 5th time, we're going to go here to the paragraph and click Center Justify. So it's going to be this one right here. You can see that it moves the line back to the center of the page. And this is where we're going to activate boldface and type title of manuscript. And you type the title exactly like that. You do not need to make up your own title or put title. Just write title of manuscript in boldface. After that, we're going to hit enter one more time. Make sure to deactivate the boldface. And then we're going to hit enter one more time to insert an empty space between the title and author name. So this second line is where you put your author name. I'm going to put mine, and you should put down yours. Now, make sure to include your middle initial, but only if you have a middle name. If you don't have a middle name, you do not need to worry about that part. But make sure when you are putting in your middle initial to add a period at the end. Alright, so that's the author name. The next thing is to write our affiliation. And our affiliation is the University of Alabama in Huntsville. So this is what your title page should look like. And this is the position that your title should be in. So next thing we're going to do is hit enter once more. And now we're going to left justify. This is kind of our default position that we always want to be in. So now we're going to enter a page break. And the way we do that is hit Control Enter at the same time. So I'm hitting Control Enter. And you can see that it brings us automatically to the next page. We don't have to hit enter multiple times. It's just that Control Enter for a nice clean page break. Alright, so this is where our abstract goes. It also stays on its own page. So we're going to go and do Center Justify. We're going to activate boldface. And we're going to type abstract. Alright, so now we're going to deactivate the boldface and left justify. The abstract is different from the rest of your manuscript because it begins in block paragraphing. There are no tab indentations at all. So what we're going to do is write this. I uploaded a document that contains all of the descriptions for each of the section's purposes. So you can just copy from that, or you can use this as a reference. Whatever is easier for you guys. Alright, so this is what the purpose of the abstract is for. It basically operates as a summary for your whole manuscript. So now that that's finished, we're going to hit enter to begin a new line. Then we're going to do Center Justify again. This is where our keywords go. And so you'll want to activate italics and write keywords. Now, this is the important part. Keywords is the only thing that is italicized here. After you've written this part, you're going to deactivate it and insert your colon, and then type word 1 and word 2 just as placeholders. But in an actual article, this is where any important constructs or keywords would go. So this completes our abstract. Again, we are going to insert another page break, so just make sure to tab into a new line, left justify, and then hit Control Enter for that neat page break. So this is what I refer to as the body section, or the body of your paper. It comprises the introduction, methods, results, and discussion. So first thing we're going to do is Center Justify, and now we're going to activate boldface. The introduction title is title of manuscript. We do not write introduction or anything else. It's just the same as what is written as the title for the title page. So just copy it like that. Then we're going to go and hit enter to start a new line, left justify, so it is back on this position, and we're going to deactivate the boldface. We typically only use boldface for major headings. so you don't need that for the descriptions. Alright, so I'm going to write the description for the introduction. It is highly recommended that you do this because this template serves as a guide for your research paper in this class and for any other research papers. So it'll serve as a constant reminder of what exactly you need to do and what is expected for each section. So you always use tab to indent for these paragraphs, unlike the abstract. So I'm just going to write this down. Alright, so this is the purpose of the introduction. Now that that is complete, we're going to move on to the method. So hit enter to start a new line, then go to center justify, and we're going to boldface the method. Now the method is unique because it does not have any paragraphs under it like the introduction, results, or discussion. Mainly the method is comprised of subheadings themselves. So now that we're starting a new line, we want to make sure that it's left justified, and we're going to begin with the first heading, the first subheading, by boldfacing it and writing participants. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a description, and then we're going to move on to the design. Boldface again, write design, and then add the purpose underneath. Then we're going on to materials, boldface again. Now we're on to procedures. So you'll just write it as this, then add your description. So the statistics is the last subheading of the method. Then we'll move on to results. Alright, so now that we're hitting enter to start a new line, this time we're going to go back here to center justify, and we're going to boldface and write results. So this is the third major section of the body. So we're going to left justify, deactivate the bold, and we're going to use tab again, like so. So the results is where you report whatever findings you have from the experiment. You do not interpret the results here. That is the purpose of the discussion, which is our final section. So now we're starting a new line, boldfacing, and adding in our discussion. And here I will add the purpose once more. So you can see here that this comprises the body of the paper. Our last bit is to add in our references. So now I'm going to hit enter, make sure that it's left justify, and have that page break at the end. So this is where all of your literature review, any citations are placed under the references. So we're going to center justify, activate boldface, type in references. Now here for your assignment with the APA template, you need to actually have some kind of citation under the references as an example to show that you understand how to format them correctly. So we have multiple materials, and I'm going to switch actually to our Canvas page, and I'm going to go here to APA template instructions. This is the document I was referring to. You can see here that I have the exact thing that I wrote down, so you can simply copy it for each section if that's easier. So this is the citation that I'm going to use. I'm just going to highlight it, copy it, and paste it as text only. So you see when I pasted it like this, it became a little bit wonky, so we need to clean it up. And the simple way to do it is just delete, press delete to erase those extra spaces. So you can see that it now looks like this. The next thing we want to do here is highlight the entire citation. Then you're going to right click again and you see this settings menu pop up. We're going to go to paragraph. So as you can see here, we still have our previous formatting still in place. So that's definitely good. Now we want to alter it by going here to where it says special. Click the arrow and select hanging. This creates a hanging indent. So now that you have that selected, you're going to click OK, and it should look like this now. Another thing to note is that when you are copying citations, sometimes after you paste them, they'll lose their proper formatting, so you always want to double check. You see, you will always include an ampersand for the last author, and then also we want to highlight the journal name, the comma after the journal name, and the volume number, which is this here. You want to ignore this number in parentheses, that's the volume issue. So now that we have this part highlighted, we're just going to italicize it. So that's what we do there. The next thing we need to do is delete this part of the DOI link where it says elib.uh.edu. We only delete this part. So you can keep the period and the dash. So deleting this extra space, it should look like that. Now if you hit enter again, you can see that this DOI link becomes blue. We do not want it hyperlinked, so you're going to right click on the blue link and have this menu come back up. We're going to select remove hyperlink. Alright, so for your APA template assignment, you do not need to worry about including a table or figure. That is simply just supplemental resources, information on how to do it. What you need to focus on here is just creating the title page, the abstract, and the body of the paper along with references. So this is what your template should look like after you're done with this.